The TORAH Code Unraveled. How did we unravel the mystery behind the word TORAH? With the missing letter A that appeared every 179 sequence in equidistant blankets. Note, this TORAH code mystery quoted above have puzzled many well-known scientists and cryptographers of the Bible for hundreds of years without any clear solution to the puzzle. For instance, in a recent Pentagon research just before 9/11 took place inside the United States of America, the cryptographer scientist by the name of Harold Gans released the film Secrets of Bible Code revealed by Grizzly Adams Productions by trying to solve the mystery behind the word TORAH. With the missing letter A that appeared every 179 sequence in equidistant blankets during their graphical experiment. This video clip is dedicated to the late Dr. Harold Gans, who abandoned their research at TORAH to crack the TORAH code, which came shortly after 9/11 when both the WDC towers and the Pentagon were hit. This video clip disclosed on chart the conclusion to their abandoned research by unraveling the TORAH code mystery. Why the last Bible code makes use of the English tongue as a sign for prophesying rather than the original Hebrew tongue by unraveling the TORAH code mystery. The Bible translation from Hebrew and Greek into modern English version is covenant related when it comes to what kind of people has received the blessings of the covenant. During the Old Covenant, it was the Jews making use of the Hebrew Bible that has been blessed as the oracles of God has been entrusted to the Jewish nation. Physical Israel. Romans chapter 3 verse 1-2. But when Israel was rejected as special people as a covenant nation in 3480, and of 70 prophetic weeks, Daniel chapter 9 verse 24, the blessing has been withdrawn. The oracles of God in the Bible has been entrusted to a new covenant nation, which includes what language has been blessed that this new covenant nation possessed. That was evidently mentioned in the Bible in Isaiah chapter 28 verse 10-11, another tongue will he speak to his people. This another tongue does not refer to Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek in a sense that the Hebrew nation was already rejected as the covenant nation in 3480. This another tongue refers to the English tongue, which is side by side connected to the English translation of the Bible that we generally use today. The United States of America has been blessed as the next covenant nation during the days of spiritual Israel. It is the place in the West where the light of the third angel's message, Revelation chapter 12 verse 9-12, arise, whose revelations from the spirit of prophecy has been relayed in writing through dreams and visions to a visionary from the West by the name of Mrs. Ellen G. White. In the last days, this would be followed by symbols and figures witnessing from the East, which also made use of the English version of the Bible in disclosing the oracles of God in the Bible, whose revelation of God's mystery would arrive in the days of Revelation 10:7. At the start of the last period of probation ever granted to mankind, is the use of code language in the Bible designed by God to be too complex for us to interpret and to comprehend. Code, an arbitrary system of symbols or words. Symbol, a sign used to represent a quantity or a relation as in mathematics. The oracles of God in the Bible identify God as the greatest mathematician. In the past, the recipients of the oracles of God, Acts chapter 7 verse 38, like Moses and Noah, take dictations from God in building both ark respectively. They both apply practical mathematics in following the exact measurements given to them by God. Also, when the Temple of Jerusalem was first built during the time of King Solomon, every stone for the temple was prepared to exactly fill its place before being brought to the temple. And the temple came together without the sound of an axe or hammer. 1 Kings chapter 6 verse 7. Every stone fitted for the place, every parts assembled required mathematics in the accuracy of building the temple. In our days, this mathematics is applied in encoding Bible verses which contain the oracles of God in it. The oracles of God in the Holy Bible reveal certain codes. These codes show patterns which determine the exactness of every incidental passage, keyword or systematic passage, group of words in the Bible on how they are connected to God's plan of redemption. This has been righteousness expressed in figures, and figures are found seldom lying. It is then good news how through symbols and figures the use of code language serves as a tool which provides digital information in disclosing historicism, an accurate apocalyptic interpretation of the Bible written on charts supported by the spirit of prophecy. Revelation chapter 19 verse 10. And by using the alphanumeric sequence of the English alphabet, see legend on the background as a sign for prophesying will prove to us the easier way that God has provided us to interpret his sacred oracles. The TORAH has its link to the Great I Am and the two stone tables of the Decalogue. The TORAH, Exodus chapter 12 verse 49, and the two stone tables of the Decalogue given by the Great I Am to Moses at Mount Sinai disclosed on chart the following. Notice on chart that by solving the mystery behind the word TORAH, with the missing letter A that appeared every 179 sequence in equidistant lines, during their graphical experiment by Dr. Harold Gans was also confirmed to us on chart below. Notice how this 179 mark is linked to the Great I Am and the two stone tables of the Decalogue, and at the same time disclosed God's messengers of the last days through the 301 mark, by whom each one of them received visions regarding the start and of investigative judgment in the heavenly sanctuary's most holy place. See confirmation through the next charts showing the everlasting covenant of the rainbow under the code of its 7 colors in connection with the TORAH code. What's the real secret code in the Bible that will unravel the TORAH code mystery? Since the past centuries, many famous biblical researchers and theologians have attempted to unlock the secret code in the Bible in order to forecast the revelation of the past, the present, and the future of God's plan on planet Earth. Unfortunately, not all cryptographers have correctly deciphered the interpretation of symbols that were used in the Bible, but most of their findings were commonly mixed up with fiction, myths and legends to popularly attract public attention when published and shown in movies. Unknown to their readers, there are only few chosen ones who can't be trusted to unlock accurately the secret code in the Bible. This can be determined through the code of destiny as found written under each person's name created by God, whether he received such prophetic gift to unlock the hidden codes that are found in the Bible. The real secret code in the Bible that will unravel the TORAH code mystery is primarily the kind of code that provide access to Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 29 secret things from God which arrived during the days of Revelation 10:7 when the mystery of God should be finished. By unlocking this secret code will give access to the lively oracles given to Moses by the Great I Am in Mount Sinai, Acts chapter 7 verse 38. This was disclosed clearly on chart number 29 on the background. One of the highlights how the secret code provides access to Deuteronomy 29:29 secret things from God which disclosed the sanctuary evidence in connection with the sealing of the 12 tribes of Israel, both physical and spiritual tribes as accurately drawn on chart number 29. The secret code's access to the TORAH, Exodus chapter 12 verse 49 is included in all the lively oracles given to Moses at Mount Sinai disclosed its exact location in the sanctuary where the TORAH dwells. See posted chart on the background. The secret code's access to historicism on Christ's first advent has also accurately drawn on chart. The secret code's access to unlocking the time barrier bridging heaven and earth. And last but not the least, the secret code's access to the entire period covered by the cleansing of the heavenly sanctuary's holy place and most holy place. By unlocking the secret code in the Bible had been made possible through the testimony of a prophet by the name of Mrs. Ellen G. White, a visionary from the West 166 years ago. that was during her 1848 Dorchester vision when she gave the testimony by which the future of a great work was opened in symbol, have led us to the unlocking of the secret Bible code. The lively oracles of God given to Moses at Mount Sinai, Acts chapter 7 verse 38 bear witness of the 1166 mark. See chart on the background, which also disclosed where the TORAH dwelt, its exact location inside the sanctuary. The lively oracles of God given to Moses which bear witness of the 1166 mark, whose exact location inside the sanctuary was disclosed on chart below. See previous chart number 29 showing the main portion of this posted chart. How the TORAH code gave witness to year 1844 when the sanctuary doctrine in proclamation of the Sabbath truth was confirmed in history. Note: by applying simple computation to the lively oracles of God given to Moses which bear witness of the 1166 mark, which has been located at the sanctuary. See previous chart number 29 regarding the 1166 mark, in line with the TORAH code with the missing letter A that appears every 179 sequence will prove to us the exact year when the sanctuary doctrine Daniel chapter 8 verse 14 end of 2,300 days that transpired in 1844 AD, when Christ entered the most holy place, the start of investigative judgment in heaven by exalting the true day of worship Saturday Sabbath. See below, was proclaimed under the third angel's message. Revelation chapter 14 verse 9 to 12, that began in 1844. Also, Ellen G. Garment White of Atanari from the West, who received her first vision from God by the same year 1844, that took place on a Sabbath, and not on Sunday. She was still 17 years old by that time. Note: Mrs. Ellen G. White received prophetic gift of dreams and visions known as the first witnessing from the spirit of prophecy. Pages 7 to 8 of The Great Controversy under Introduction. The second witnessing from the spirit of prophecy, symbols and figures, that was also mentioned by Mrs. White on pages 7 to 8 of The Great Controversy, to arrive during the days of Revelation 10:7, when the mystery of God should be finished in unraveling the TORAH code mystery. Question: was the computation of William Miller about the Jewish reckoning of the Day of Atonement in Leviticus chapter 23 verse 27, 10th day of the 7th month Tishri, as the Day of Atonement coincided with the reckoning that was in Daniel chapter 8 verse 14 end of 2,300 days. That fell on October 22nd, year 1844. Beforehand, we have proven from the previous charts how the TORAH code have confirmed and established the said event that took place in the year 1844. William Miller, the former Baptist minister who launched an intensive study about investigative judgment in behalf of Daniel chapter 8 verse 14 end of 2,300 days. Miller headed the group known as the Millerites movement in the 18th century. Miller's computation at the Jewish reckoning of the Day of Atonement in Leviticus chapter 23 verse 27 coincided with the reckoning that was in Daniel chapter 8 verse 14, and would fall on October 22, 1844. However, they regarded it as the event of the cleansing of the earthly sanctuary, which turned out to be known in history as the Great Disappointment in 1844, when Christ's second coming, as what they expected did not occur on the said date. The question is, was William Miller given the access to interpret accurately the prophetic period of Daniel 8:14, and of 2,300 days that transpired in the year 1844? Even if it turned out to be a great disappointment when Christ did not come during that year. The point is this: Miller's computation of the prophetic period is accurate, as what is destined under his name. The code under the name William Miller C. chart disclosed his destiny. The scriptural verse that is written in his name as disclosed on chart on the background is Daniel 8:14, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. That is why he was chosen by God to interpret the said time prophecy. However, his only mistake is that what occurred in the year 1844 was not the expected Christ's second coming on earth, but it was the time when Christ entered the most holy place of the heavenly sanctuary, the great original that was in heaven. Hebrews chapter 9 verse 11, 12, and 24, to start his ministry as our high priest, start of investigative judgment in the second department of the sanctuary in heaven as proclaimed in Daniel chapter 8 verse 14. Through the next charts we will see how the author of this book, The Last Bible Code, have solved the puzzle to William Miller's dream about the casket. There is a hidden code planted in the name of a person to certify if he was given the access to interpret the code language that are hidden in the Bible. Question: does the author from the East who wrote the book The Last Bible Code has God's calling to unravel the TORAH code mystery as included in the lively oracles given to Moses at Mount Sinai, and handed down to us Acts chapter 7 verse 38? Was he given the access to interpret the code language that are hidden in the Bible? Code under the name Wilfredo Hippolanca, author of the book The Last Bible Code. The scriptural verse that is written in his name as disclosed on chart on the background is Isaiah chapter 8 verse 18, Behold, I and the children whom the Lord hath given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel from the Lord of hosts, which dwell in Mount Zion. We now solve the puzzle to William Miller's dream about the casket containing all the precious gems and jewels. Here is the account on William Miller's dream. I dreamed that God, by an unseen hand, sent me a curiously wrought casket about 10 inches long by 6 square, made of ebony and pearls curiously inlaid. To the casket there was a key attached. I immediately took the key and opened the casket, when, to my wonder and surprise, I found it filled with all sorts and sizes of jewels, diamonds, precious stones, and gold and silver coin of every dimension and value, beautifully arranged in their several places in the casket, and thus arranged they reflected the light and glory equal only to the sun. Early Writings, page 81, paragraph 2. Clue: The Spirit of Prophecy by Mrs. White mentioned that there was a key to the casket, which implies that the casket will be opened, signifying that the interpretation of the said dream by William Miller will be disclosed in the last days, which points to our generation today. Here is how the author of the book, The Last Bible Code, have solved the puzzle to William Miller's dream as disclosed on chart on the background. The total dimension of the casket in length, width, and height are connected in figures to identifying the witnesses of the last days who received dreams and visions last 1844 AD and symbols and figures last 1996 AD as the two witnessing from the spirit of prophecy. See page 7 to 8 of The Great Controversy, under Introduction. Now, compare this 301 mark as shown on chart below in identifying the names of the witnesses of the last days after solving the puzzle to William Miller's dream, with another previous chart showing the same 301 mark as disclosed to us in connection with the TORAH code. Through the interpretation of the symbols that were used in William Miller's dream have disclosed their names on chart in connection with the gospel message of the last days. See chart. Like Nebuchadnezzar, who dreamed of the great image in Daniel chapter 2, the symbols that were shown by God in Nebuchadnezzar's dream was interpreted by the prophet Daniel in Daniel chapter 2 verses 24 to 45. For a complete account regarding William Miller's dream about the man with the dirt brush who has been assigned as the second Miller after solving the puzzle to William Miller's dream, please stay tuned to our next episode entitled The Man with the Dirt Brush. Early Writings, page 48, paragraph 2. How the everlasting covenant of the rainbow set by God as a sign between God and man. Genesis chapter 9 verse 16. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 19 gave witness to God's messengers of the last days whose identity has been disclosed on chart in the background. In the propagation of the light of the present truth through the gospel, the three angels' messages Revelation chapter 14 verse 6 to 12, from the west, and Revelation chapter 18 verse 1, fourth angel's message from the east that unites during the days of Revelation 10:7, voice of the seventh angel, that are all linked to the 179 mark in connection with the TORAH code. See chart on the background, and likewise confirmed to us by solving the puzzle to William Miller's dream in one of our previous charts. The TORAH. Exodus chapter 12 verse 49 given to Moses by the great I Am in Mount Sinai, that has been handed down to us, disclosed on chart the title of God's church whose founder is Jesus Christ himself. The title of the church is disclosed on chart below was a recipient of the lively oracles given at Mount Sinai, Acts chapter 7 verse 38, from the Old to the New Covenant. May God bless everyone who are watching this clip right now. Until next time, please stay tuned for more episodes brought to you by the author of the book, The Last Bible Code. Amen.